Today, this is the second part of the holds kind of webinar series. So in the first part, we covered the types of holds and how to place them. In this webinar, we are going to focus on holds maintenance. Um, so like where can we maintain them? What locate functions or where in the web client can we do that within the patron interface and then just general holds maintenance. And then we are also going to take a little look at hopeless holds and item reclamation. So the patron interface. So within the patron's account, within the holds tab, this is where you can see open hold requests and details associated with them. Recently canceled holds. You can start the hold process as well as maintain the holds listed with various actions. It is accessible again from the holds tab. Holds are separated into two groups within this tab. We have that open hold requests, which is where the items that are active or suspended, waiting for capture, all of that will be in here. Any active request will be in the open hold requests. Recently canceled holds will show recently canceled holds. So it will list all of those titles that were recently canceled. If there was a note attached to that cancellation, that will also be available to read from there. So from the open hold requests tab, which usually opens automatically when you select the holds tab, you can see in this example that the hold on this patron's account is in the status of waiting for capture and when it was requested. The other visible columns tell you what item has been selected to fill the hold, how many potential items there are on the record to fill the hold if this one doesn't pan out, where the patron is going to pick up the hold, as well as the hold type. You will want to play, as like other areas in Evergreen, you'll want to play with the grid configuration to see what columns will show you the best information. Another option is detail view. If you were to select one of the holds listed and then click the detail view, it's going to give you a little more information. Let me just bring that up real quick. And let me think. I think I can just go to this little preview of the Indiana item reclamation. So when you click on a hold type and select detail view, it's going to look very similar to the detail view you see in item status, except it's more focused on hold details. So it also, what you might see in the grid configuration in the columns, is laid out more in a table format. But this is where you would be able to see if, say, a hold was canceled. This is where you would see the cause of that, who canceled it, and when and where, and then that note if one was entered into there. The recently canceled holds tab shows a history of canceled items. Again, you can use the columns to see the cancel cause and even that cancel note. Similar to the open hold requests like you just saw in the live, selecting a hold and then clicking detail view will open that information into the detail view. And that list view button will take you back to that grid that you normally look at. There are a number of actions that you can take for holds within a patron's account. So show last few circulations, when you select a hold and click that from actions or right click, it's going to take you to detail view in item status and open the circ history list. So circ history list is going to show you the last 5 circulations for that specific item. It will show all of the patron names, checkout date, due date, etc. Show holds for title will open up the title's bib record and take you to the view holds tab. So this is where another place you can also maintain these holds, and we'll get a little more into that in a little bit. We or the patron can change the pickup location for a hold request. On our end, we'll select the action item and select the new pickup library. Usually, if this occurs at all, it tends to happen when the item is already in transit. When the item is checked in at the pickup library the item was originally sent to, it should print a new transit receipt to the new location. We can also update notification settings after the hold has been placed. We will want to select the type to activate it and then add the corresponding information. This will be similar to when you are placing the hold. If you enter the text, you will continue to select the SMS carrier from the drop-down list. Edit hold dates allows you to adjust the activate, request, expiration, or shelf expiration date for the hold. The hold request date, I'm going to recommend not editing unless you have had to manually create a new hold for the patron. Let's say they had a part level hold or a title level hold that shouldn't have happened. So you need to create a brand new hold for the same item under a different hold type. So you could change the hold request date to make staying in the same order that they requested the item. But you'll just check the box next to the field that you wish to modify and then manually enter the new date, or you can click the calendar button to select something from the calendar. Activate and suspend. If you remember when we were placing the holds, we have the ability to suspend a hold when we place it. These functions allow us to activate that hold manually ahead of the time or the date that we selected originally. We can also suspend holds that were not suspended when the hold was placed. So there's nothing to select. It just wants us to confirm and click OK, continue. I'm going to skip the rest of these and show to cancel hold. If the patron contacts us to cancel a hold, we will do this by selecting the item and then choosing cancel hold from the menu. It will ask us for the cancel reason and to enter a note. I highly recommend adding notes in case the patron comes back someday and says, "Hey, where's my item? I requested this item ages ago." And we can bring this up and say, "You called us to let us know to cancel it, and this is why." When you do cancel a hold, if you go back into that detail view, those cancel fields will be filled by the information that we placed in that cancel hold function. So the cancel cause, in this example, we selected patron via phone, the time it was canceled, and the note that was entered. We do have the ability to uncancel a hold, and this can be useful because it will reinstate the request, the original request date for that hold. To do that, we would stay in that recently canceled holds tab. We will select the hold that you want to uncancel, right click or go to actions, and then click uncancel hold. So if you're already in the patrons account and they want to request an item, this starts when they are checking material out and they say, "Oh, I want to replace a hold." We have the ability to start the hold process directly in their account. To do that, we are going to go to Open Hold Requests under the Holds tab and click Place Hold. The staff catalog is going to open. The difference here, though, is now at the top of the search, you have a note saying placing hold for patron and then their name. While this is showing and you click place hold on a bib record, the patron's information will auto-populate. You don't have to enter the patron barcode or search for them using patron's search. The patron's name will stay at the top of the catalog until you either leave the catalog or click that clear button. The patron's name will disappear, and then the next time you go to place a hold, you will be able to enter a new patron's information. In this example, we have that we had started the hold from Kayla's account. Her information is here at the top. And when we went to place the hold for this title, her information was automatically entered. And let's go ahead and just take a look at that. So, all right. Okay, so in Kayla's account, we have some holds that are waiting for capture. Looks like there are three that have targeted a hold from here, and then there's one that is waiting for item. And this could be just the items that are on that record may not be in a status that can fill the hold, or maybe there's something on the patron side that um, is not that is causing the hold to kind of stall. But let's say she wants to place a new hold. So we're going to click that place hold button, take us to the catalog. We now have that placing hold for patron Sanchez Kayla at the top. If you click on her name, it's going to take you back to her account. So let's click this again. And I'm going to look for that Masters of Gin. Masters, a Master of Gin. All right. So I have this title here. I'm going to just click place hold from here to start a title level hold. And her information is already entered because we started this hold process from her account. It's just a little easier sometimes. You don't have to scan anything. So it's all ready to go. When you click the clear button, her account will disappear from the top. So I'll click clear and it disappears. Now, since we're still on the holds function page, her information is still there and will remain there unless we change the barcode that's listed or click return. And then say you go back to place another hold, it'll kind of refresh and you will just start that whole process over again. So we kind of did this, but I do want to go back into Kayla's account and show some of those actions. So we're back in Kayla's account and we're going to the holds. And so there are four holds on her account. So let's say she's tired of waiting, so she buys a copy of ACOTAR. So she calls to let us know that she wants to cancel her hold request. So I'm going to right click or go to actions, and then we can scroll down and click cancel hold. So I'm going to do the cancel reason, patron via phone, since she called me, and I'm going to put patron uh, found another copy. Or you may say our patron purchased a copy if you want to get super specific. And I'm going to click cancel hold. It's going to update and disappear from here, but when we go to recently canceled holds, it's going to appear here in this list. Let me see if I can. Here we go. So select it and go to detail view. We have that cancel information, the canceling staff. It does not show the workstation, however, but at least we have the staff person so you can go and ask them questions if anything ever comes up in the future regarding this specific hold. A few other things we can do is under open hold requests. Again, we can change the, let's say we want to suspend the hold. So I'm going to select it and, or let's go to the last graduate. Let's say she's reading the series, and I believe this is the second book in the series. So but she hasn't read the first one, so she wants to suspend this so she doesn't get it before the first. So I'm going to click suspend. Click OK, continue. It shows in the status suspended. So you can then you have it suspended. If you choose to activate it at a different date, you could choose the edit hold dates and go in here and so it says it will suspend the hold, but let's say she wants it at the end of April. Submit. So now we have that activation date within that hold. All right, general holds maintenance. If you want to look at what holds are present on a bib record, on a specific bib record, you can access them by clicking the View Holds tab on the record summary page. Unless you've changed it previously, your pickup library will show your workstation location. It is sticky, so if you do happen to change it on a certain occasion and you come back to it later, it's going to stick with that previously selected library. Um, but generally it's going to show your workstation. If you'd like to see all of the holds in your system, you can select your system level, name from the pickup library dropdown, or holds for the entire consortium by selecting EGIN. So in this example, you can see the request date for each hold, the pickup library, and the hold type, how many potential items could fill the hold, status of each hold, the status of the item, and if the hold was placed by staff in the web client or placed by a patron via the classic catalog or Aspen. Um, I don't know if I point this out later, but since it's right here, the queue position, I think there are a number of libraries that use that to determine when a patron will get something. And unfortunately, the queue position is misleading because the I can't begin to describe how the holds actually work within Evergreen, Indiana, but it a lot of them adjust based on proximity um, for the least travel time. So queue position is very misleading if someone asks what number they are in the order of things. Um, and you have to think about age hold protections and the circulation modifiers that might be used that might not transit. So use queue position with caution or not at all. Oh, I also want to point out because I have an arrow here. Um, this is another area in Evergreen that is a little buggy when it comes to visible rows. So in the holds count, it says we have 10 here and we have 10 rows visible. It's best if I'm just going to show you right here. Let's go to, I think lessons in chemistry still has a number of holds. Let's see, let's do this one. All right, I'm in the record summary. I'm going to click view hold and uh, let's fix that because I want to show you what it might do. So notice originally it said 13 holds, but I changed the number of rows visible to 10. That number is going to match however many rows is are selected. So I recommend you increase this to either 50 or 100 to make sure you are viewing all of the holds that are present on the record. There are some actions available to staff when managing holds from the View Holds tab. Some of these will be similar to what we find in the patrons account when we manage holds there. Cancel hold allows us to cancel the hold from the View Holds tab. It does look a little different, but works the same. We will select the cancel reason from the dropdown and then enter the cancel note. Find another target allows us to reset the hold request without affecting the request date. What this does is going to refresh the number of items it can target and try to reset the currently targeted item. This may be done automatically by the system if you mark your item as damaged or missing. But let's say your cataloger merged your record with another in the catalog. And now instead of a single item that can fill the hold, there are dozens. By using the find another target option, you are allowing that hold to now be filled by one of those dozens of holdings that may be in a status to fill that request. The modify holds works very similar to modify dates and modify holds function in the patron account. A few things are combined in this, some like the pickup library. If you want to suspend the hold, adding an activate expire date and things like that. You can also update notification settings for a specific hold, including, say, the patron wants that send emails and that text information. Print holds. I found this out while I was building this specific slide. This print holds menu option actually uses the holds for bib records print template from the new location of the print templates. So when you go into the local administration menu and select print templates, this is also where we manage the holds pull list template. Um, so that will print the list of holds based on that template. Show hold details will open detail view within the view holds tab, very similar to item status, but it's going to stay within that view holds. And by default, it does show patron data. Transfer to mark title can be really useful because it's going to transfer a title hold to another bibliographic record. So this might be useful if you are working on hopeless holds and you need to transfer a title level hold to another bib record with more items that could possibly fill that request. Marking the item as damaged, discard, weed, or missing should automatically retarget the hold if it has not been captured yet. Last few circulations will open details views within item status, so it will take you away from the screen. Retrieves patron will open the requesting patron's account, and the show holds for title, you're already there in the view holds tab on the bib record. So that is in the menu, but you are already there, so it's not needed. All right, let's take a look. All right, we are already in this view holds tab for lessons in chemistry. We have 13 holds. Again, I already pointed out the holds count versus the number of visible rows. The max you can do is 100, so I tend to just show 100. And you do want to notice that that holds count is going to include all of these holds regardless of status. So when you are trying to determine if this specific record will fill your patron's request in a timely manner, you will might want to take into consideration the holds that are suspended, so those will automatically be skipped. Those that are already in transit or ready for pickup. So really in this list, you only have one hold request that might slow down the fulfillment of your patron's hold because all of the other 12 already have a captured hold for it or are suspended, so will not be filled at this time. So let's say this patron who for this account decides they come in, they want to activate their hold. Normally you probably do this in the patron's account directly because you have their account open, but we can also do that here if we right click and go to modify hold. So I'm going to uncheck that, apply. So now it is waiting for capture and has automatically targeted an item that is available. The holds pull list, this is where staff will go to actually see what items in their library's collection have been targeted to fill a hold. It is accessible from the home page under the circulation patrons column for pull list for hold requests, as well as the circulation top navigation menu, pull list for hold requests. This is an example of what your pull list might look like based on the columns that you have selected in the grid configuration. In this example, we can see the shelving location of the item, call number, part if it's for DVDs, item, hold type, potential item. I mean, you can see what is visible for my holds pull list. There are some ways we can filter the pull list. By default, it's going to show your workstation location. So if you are Adams Decatur, it's going to default to this library and show you those the holds that need to be pulled from your branch. Pickup library, you can filter by pickup location. I haven't determined what use this would be on the holds pull list. Um, Unless maybe you look at your own library's pickup holds that are going to be transited to you. Shelving locations, this I think will be helpful because let's say your children's department only pull youth department or their department's hold requests. So you can filter by those shelving locations. So when they go to the pull list, it's only going to show the requests for those particular shelving locations. So that might be helpful for those staff. When you are bringing up the list, usually what we want to do is print it. Print full list will print the holds based off of the template created from the print template module in the local administration. By default, it is you are using the consortium level template. Your library does have the ability to, your local admins have the ability to clone it and customize it for your library staff. It is saved at the system or branch level. It is not workstation level. So once it's created for your branch, everyone at that branch will use that specific template. If you go to the print full grid option in the grid configuration menu, it's going to print the pull list based on the visible columns on your screen. It uses the browser's print function, so it does not utilize Hatch if that is installed on your computer. Some things to keep in mind about holds at your library. Staff should capture holds at least once each day that the library is open. You'll want to, for those who package and transit, get things ready to transit, you'll want to package them appropriately to minimize wear and tear. Shipped as promptly as you can. Of course, this depends on your transit, your Info Express schedule. When you receive materials at your library, you will check them in, whether they are just returns to your library or to fulfill your patrons' hold requests. And then you want to monitor your holds shelf for captured expired holds that weren't picked up and clear them regularly. Before we capture, I want to go into a pull list. So you can access it from the pull list for hold requests here on the navigate on the splash page, or that pull list for hold requests from the menu. We have our hold list for Thorntown. They only have 7, which is fine. I'm going to go ahead and increase this. This is another, make sure you increase the number of visible rows and save grid settings. But let's say their youth department is downstairs, their adult department is upstairs. At their youth department workstations, they may only pull the easy room books and juvenile collections. So we can click shelving locations and select them from the drop down. So easy room books. Let's just choose one more. And juvenile DVD collection. You will select all of them and click apply. So it's going to filter the others and show the items on the pull list based on the selected shelving locations. These are sticky, so if you leave, you're doing other things, and then you come back to the pull list later, those shelving locations will stay. So to clear them, you will just click the clear button and confirm, and then it will revert to show the entire pull list for your library or for your branch. To capture holds in transit, you can do so by using the check or by choosing the capture holds from the circulation menu. The capture holds It is the check-in screen, but the it does not have check-in modifiers, and the auto print hold and transit slips modifier that we usually have on is permanently selected. When you scan the item with auto print hold and transits on the check-in screen, a receipt will print automatically. If you have Hatch enabled, it'll print to your designated printer. If you don't have it turned on, this transit slip should pop up telling you where it's supposed to go, as well as give you the option to print or not to print this specific slip. The holds shelf is where you can view all titles that are at your library waiting to be picked up. It's where you will go to manage the holds that have passed the shelf expiration date or have been canceled by patrons via the OPAC. There are columns available to see more patron information like their name, barcode number, etc. If you click show clearable holds, it will only show those holds that are in a status that can be removed, or that have passed that shelf expiration date. The shelf expiration date is set in library settings to 7 days. That does not mean that the hold is going to be canceled after 7 days. It just means that when you click clearable holds, it's going to appear here in this list and show that these holds have been on your shelf for more than 7 days. They might need to be canceled to release to the next patron, especially if it's a popular title, or maybe contact the patron, however you handle this locally, to say, do you still want this item? So let's go into I've already showed you the pull list. So let's go into the holds shelf. All right, we have all of these items that are on Thorntown's hold shelf. We can see there are items that have already been canceled by patrons. This might have been done from their account. They may have done it from the classic catalog, but until you check in that item, it's going to remain on this holds shelf page. And then we have a bunch ready for pickup. So if I click clearable holds, again, the expiration date in settings is 7 days. Any hold that has been on that has 7 days past the available date will appear on this shelf. To clear these holds, you can select them all and then click clear these holds. And what this should do is I'm going to just select a couple. So Marsden, Enid, and Robert. So when we click clear these holds, as you can see, clear these holds canceled the entire list, ignoring the selected. All of these have been canceled. So in order to get these off of your hold shelf, you now have to check them in. Whether you check them in and they go route to one of your own library's shelving locations, or they transit back to their home library, or are captured to fill another hold request. Hopeless holds are holds that have been placed that have become unfillable. This can happen when all items on a record are in a status of or are modified into a status that can't fill the hold request, like lost or missing. This commonly happens if patrons or staff place a hold on a record that has maybe one or two items total, or a call number or item hold are placed and those items become missing, or become turn into another status that cannot fill that hold. To access hopeless holds, you can go to administration, local administration, and then hopeless holds. Even though it's in the local administration menu, you do not have to be a local administrator to access the hopeless holds. Your pickup library will default to your workstation or the last library selected from the drop-down. From here, you can select the title or patron barcode and see if you can maybe reset or place a new hold on a different record. You can change the start and end range for when the item became hopeless. You'll want to some things to keep in mind when we look at hopeless holds. Look at the date of the hold request. If it's been a really long time, the patron may not want it anymore because they may have found an alternative. So that may help determine if you just cancel the hold or transfer it to another record, which is the next step. We have the ability to transfer title level only holds to a new record. You might even ask your local Cat 1 if the records can be merged as well. And then cancel non-title level holds and create a new title level hold on a comparable record or an appropriate title level. So you have a title level hold on a DVD record, but of course you need a part. So you create a new part level hold on that record. So appropriate items will be targeted to fill that request. So let's go into the hopeless holds. So I'm going to go to administration, local, and hopeless holds. It looks like it defaults 10 years prior to the current date. And so it looks like I was looking maybe for a different webinar. I was looking at Lebanon. So these are the holds that have been placed by patrons with a pickup library of Lebanon that have not been filled. So you might want to sort by request date to see, um, again, this is older data. So let's say, okay, this is from December of last year. This might still be wanted. A thing we can do is go to click on the title. I would right click and go to, or maybe use your wheel button if you can click that to open this in a new tab. And then maybe see why something it became hopeless. So there is a single item on this record and it is not holdable. So that is why that hold request was not filled. Now it's very possible that this was the only record available. This is when you want to get a little creative about finding a different record. So what I do is you can either perform a search in the catalog, for title author, which is going to be the most common. If you happen to be a cataloger, you might want to maybe copy paste the ISBN as a search, but I'm just going to search by title here. And let's add author. Make sure you're searching the entire consortium. Okay, so there is only one record available for this. So now you may want to contact the library or patron, tell them that it's not available, and maybe see if it's available maybe through Indiana Share if you participate in that program. There might be alternatives to that. Item reclamation is an automatic function in Evergreen to send items that have been transiting outside of their owning library for an extended period back home. How does this happen? So an item has been circulating outside of its home library for a long period of time. I used to think it was 6 months or more. It might be a little less. But when that period of time has passed, an F level or forced hold is automatically placed on the item. The next time staff try to renew the request or when they check it in, it's going to print a hold transit slip back to the owning library. If an item comes in via transit and prints a slip for item reclamations, what we can do to manage that is we'll go to the account. We need to cancel the hold on that account and then check in the item again. So this is what the account looks like. And let me just bring that up. It's basically like a patron account. It's EI-item-reclaimer. And it doesn't check out or anything, but it does. This is where those holds come in. So we are going to click on that and it's going to list all of the holds, looks like 130 total, that have a forced hold to tell the staff this should be sent back to its owning library. If it has an available date or have a status for ready for pickup, this tells me that it was returned to the owning library, maybe checked in, reshelved, but the hold was not canceled. So if you need to get that hold off, which I highly recommend you do, you would just select it from the list, go in and cancel hold. I would probably leave it as staff forced and then probably put um, item is has been returned and then cancel hold. Again, you will want to check the hold in um, so it will revert to a reshelving status. So it can be targeted for another hold or um, just be reshelving and then turn to available. This is what an item reclamation hold might look like in the View Holds tab. You will have that hold type of F and have the pickup libraries. It's usually the owning library. And then the requester username. This is helpful also if you want to see if you don't have the hold type listed, which F, that will tell you it's item reclamation, you can see the requester username will be EI-item-reclaimer.